Hello, welcome back to the Sub 5 series, where you are going to discover the top 2025 running shoes and gear from the running event 2024 in Austin. I'm your host, Marni Salup. Let's do this.
What is exciting and new for 2025?
I think I'd be remiss if I didn't start out by saying we're a 40-year-old adventure brand that was founded on the Colorado River in 1984 when a river guide took a Velcro strap off his wristwatch and put it on a flip-flop, and the sport sandal category was born.
Right.
40 years later, we've learned a lot about how sandal fit, lockdown, and feel can enhance and improve any sort of upper fit. So taking that kind of insight, we applied it to trail running. So what's really unique about this line is that for our Aventrail line, this is our most technical distance run trail line.
Okay.
And what you'll notice is between the sandal and the shoe, we're talking about a similar drop of 6 millimeters.
Okay.
We're talking about a similar stack height of 33.5 and 27.5 heel to toe. We're talking about the same fit system in the upper with this new proprietary W strap system.
Okay.
And we're talking about the same bottom unit layout. So lightweight EVA with an SCF drop-in or supercritical foam drop-in and a nylon plate. The difference here is you're going to find no laces,
right,
and you're going to find 3 points of adjustability, and then you basically get to choose between sandal and shoe what run experience you want for that particular day.
So that is one question I have, which is, like, why would you go with one or the other? Like, is it related to the weather? Is it related to the terrain?
I think it can be related to weather. It can be related to terrain. It can be related to the run experience and feel that you want for that day. So really it can be the way you wake up, the breakfast that you had.
Wow, that's so cool.
It is.
So I really like that you have the three lockdown points. Like, I was wearing these earlier this morning, and I loved that I could make the little tweaks, right? Just making the heel tighter, tightening this down, making this a little looser because I have a wider foot in the front, and these shoes are so comfortable. I mean, all I was doing, I wasn't even running, I was just walking over to Barton Springs to experience maybe, walking around on the trail. I can't run right now, but they're so comfortable. I could live in those shoes. Like, they're really, really great.
So I think there's a couple benefits that you're going to get with a sandal that are different than any shoe from any competitor.
Yes.
And I think the biggest ones are, we talked about the adjustability.
Right, that's amazing.
So your feet swell and contract over the course of any activity, right? And so the ability to make quick, small adjustments on the fly to forefoot, instep, and Achilles heel adjustments is a huge advantage. The other one is, when you think about in shoe construction, these SCF foams are super responsive and deliver a ton of energy return. In a shoe, you have a strobel board, you have a strobel stitching, and you have a sock liner adding 7 millimeters of additional material in between your foot and the actual performance foam that the brand is trying to sell you.
So you lose the connection a little bit.
You are foot on foam. So you get direct energy return in the sandal when you are going through your run. And so that feeling that you were just explaining of I felt really comfortable is because you're actually feeling the foam that we're spending a lot of money on to put into a shoe to give you that sensation and experience.
And these are you can fully run in these, even though it's not a shoe, like because it has the side stability.
We have athletes who have run half marathons in these, 5Ks, 10Ks, have done distance runs. These are very much intended to be able to charge any trail.
Original Teva shoe that came out like back in the day, 40 years ago. Was it one shoe?
It's a great question. This is not the first trail run sandal that's been introduced to the market.
Okay.
Back in 2000, Teva launched the Response sandal that was a specific trail run sandal.
Okay.
And that lived in the line for about 6 years. And I would argue that it was maybe a little bit ahead of its time.
Yeah.
But we've basically taken inspiration from that original sandal, and this was the original color story from Response, was this black, white, gray with red hits, and brought that into the modern era of all the revolutions that we've had in underfoot foams, in rocker geometry understanding, in plate design and type, and combine that with what we've done really well over 40 years with straps.
That's amazing. So that's so the straps are the signature of Teva. Like that's pretty much like laceless
alternative
sandals.
fit systems.
That's awesome. But you also have like a full line of shoes and lifestyle shoes, from like boots to sandals to slides. So I mean, but that's not how it started, right?
It's not how it started, but it's where it's going.
That's amazing. I love it. I mean, I've had the opportunity to try so many different shoes by Teva. So I mean, it's pretty cool.
It is.
So this is the Aventrail line. And this is all out now, or is it coming out in 2025?
So the sandal launched in spring of 24.
Okay.
This has already been out.
Right.
It's already sold out, and it's already starting to get restocked.
Okay.
The shoe launches on 3/1 of spring 25. And then this is the Aventrail R2T, which stands for Road to Trail.
Okay.
This is actually a very different experience than this sandal and shoe.
Mm-hmm.
So very similar profiles, as I explained. This is an 8.5 millimeter drop.
Okay.
This has a slightly different stack height. You can see a little bit more of the bucket seat in here.
Yeah.
There's no plate in this. And we use an X-foam drop-in with a lightweight carrier, and then you're going to get 3.5 millimeter lugs on the outsole versus 5 millimeter lugs here. This is intended to go out of your house, find the nearest trail, whether that's gravel or packed dirt or even asphalt, and get those training miles in so that you can charge in these later.
That's great. And so just like this is like more of an everyday sort of like sandal. Sandal,
yes.
Or do you call it sandal or shoe?
This is a sandal.
Okay, just asking. So this is your everyday sandal.
And we realized there's going to be a stigma around sandals. And what's really interesting is, I like to joke with people that the Romans conquered Europe wearing sandals. So the sandal isn't the worst footwear choice for you.
Right.
And in fact, as we've mentioned, it offers a ton of benefits that you can't get in a normal shoe. When you talk about a heel to toe to forefoot to toe off, the ability to get toe splay can be completely achieved in a natural running gait in a sandal, and you can achieve that in a shoe. And so a lot so benefits.
Do you socks or no socks?
So
what's the vibe on that?
So while this doesn't come out for 6 more months, when I was doing a factory travel, I was running I did probably 40 miles of running and cruising around Vietnam in these. And I absolutely, on a warm, humid day, was going no socks.
No socks.
If I want to put in some miles, I actually weirdly just feel more comfortable.
No, I wonder what the vibe is. Like, is there like, it's like cycling, right? Like in cycling, like depending on like how high your socks are. Anyway,
yes.
A whole other conversation.
And I have a sports background where socks were weirdly a very big topic of conversation for the sports that I played growing up. But
soccer?
Soccer and lacrosse.
Okay, yeah.
But I would definitely say that it's total preference, and I think it like this again. It's another layer of you being able to kind of choose how it feels and the experience you want.
Awesome. How'd you get into working with Teva, and what's your athletic background?
Yeah, so started my career. It was kind of a career pivot, and started kind of at the bottom floor with Nike. Moved over to Adidas, worked in lacrosse, basketball, baseball, and soccer, all around sports marketing and footwear product creation. Got to do some really cool things, learn a lot. But as I've gotten older, my passions around the outdoors, hiking, skiing, backpacking, just being outside, started to become a bigger focus than playing.
Right.
And so when an opportunity came up that Teva is getting back to its performance roots, that there's an opportunity for someone to come in and lead that vision and direction, it sounded like a dream that was too good to be true. And so a lot of like respect for brands like Teva that's like has been on almost maybe every kid's feet at some point who's done anything outdoors.
Yeah.
I remember my Tevas from camp when I was in outdoor school at 10, 11 years old. And so the ability to kind of bring performance back to this brand is super exciting.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the Sub 5 series at TRE.
Thank you so much.
It was great meeting you.
Stoked to meet you.